Are you an international doctor in Germany? Feeling kind of stuck, maybe frustrated by this whole licensing process. It feels like a maze sometimes, right? Wasting your energy, your valuable time. Perhaps you've just passed the Fachsprachprüfung, and hey, seriously, huge congratulations if you have. That's massive. But now you're staring at this fork in the road. The question is, what is the smart move now?
Yeah, and this isn't just, any decision. It really can set the course for years of your career here. So many doctors hit this exact point, and making the wrong call here can honestly cost you big time.
Exactly. So today, we are cutting right through all that confusion. This deep dive comes straight from the playbook, Lesson 3, actually, from the free Module 0 of ArztWerden. That's Dr. Esam Shahlol's operating system for success, designed for doctors like you. We're decoding that really key choice, Berufserlaubnis or Approbation. And listen, by the end of this, you'll be clear on which path is strategically much, much smarter for getting where you actually want to go.
Okay, let's really unpack this moment. You've passed the FSP, huge step, like you said. Now, boom, this immediate choice pops up. Do you try and jump straight into working with a temporary license, the Berufserlaubnis, the BE? Or do you double down, focus everything, and go for the Kenntnisprüfung, the KP, to get your full permanent approbation?
Right. So let's break down option 1 first, this Berufserlaubnis, the BE. What exactly is it? What does the ArztWerden system tell us?
Well, based on everything we've seen in ArztWerden, the BE is fundamentally a temporary work permit. And the key word there is temporary. Usually it's only valid for a maximum of 2 years.
Okay, temporary 2 years max. That limit jumps out right away.
Absolutely. And it's typically restricted, too, meaning it might only let you work in one specific state, or often it's tied just to one particular hospital, maybe even a specific job in that hospital.
So definitely not a license to practice anywhere in Germany. And the prerequisites are the FSP, the application, and usually you need a job offer lined up already.
That's usually the case, yeah. And crucially, when you're working with a BE, you are always under supervision. Your actual scope of practice, what you can do, your responsibilities, they're explicitly limited compared to someone with full approbation. You're working, sure, but, with constraints.
Okay. So I can see why getting that BE and just starting work right after the FSP might seem really, really appealing on the surface. What are those things people see as the big advantages? What makes it look like the obvious thing to do?
Well, the first big pull is usually money, right? People think, great, I can finally start earning, cover my costs, maybe save a bit.
Yeah, an immediate income. That's huge, especially after studying hard. Maybe money's been tight. That's a powerful reason.
It really is. And they also think, okay, they'll get valuable hands-on clinical experience in the German system straight away. Plus, being in the hospital every day, talking to colleagues, patients, surely that's got to boost your language skills fast.
Okay. Immediate cash, practical experience, language practice. I mean, those arguments sound pretty convincing. Why wouldn't you just grab the BE first?
And this is exactly where the insights from ArztWerden, built from watching so many doctors go through this, offer that critical correction. What looks like a clear advantage often hides some really serious, sometimes devastating disadvantages. This is the kind of unvarnished truth you don't always hear when you're just starting out.
Okay, let's get straight to it then. What are the real hard downsides of taking that BE path before you've got your approbation?
Okay, the first one, and maybe the toughest reality, is just the enormous stress and, frankly, a very high risk of burnout. Working full-time as a junior doctor here, even supervised, it's incredibly demanding. We're talking long hours, steep learning curves, constant pressure.
You're just drained, physically, mentally, most days.
Exactly. Now try imagining carving out quality, focused study time after a shift like that. For the Kenntnisprüfung, the KP is a serious exam. It takes real brain power. And for most people, trying to study effectively while holding down that kind of job, it's just not sustainable. We've seen it again and again. Doctors are just too exhausted. And that leads to frustration, not preparing properly, and often failing the KP, sometimes multiple times.
Wow. So the exhaustion from the BE job directly sabotages your ability to pass the next crucial exam. Makes total sense. What about the timeline? How does that get affected?
It leads straight to losing massive amounts of time because the learning is just so inefficient. Trying to cram KP study into little gaps when you're already tired, it means you take much, much longer to actually learn the material. What could have been, say, a focused few months of prep suddenly stretches into a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even longer, because you're juggling badly.
So what looks like getting a head start actually turns into a massive detour. You could be adding years to getting fully licensed.
Precisely. Which brings us back to the money again, but looking long-term. Remember, the BE is capped at 2 years. So what if you don't manage to pass the KP in that time?
The risk is you could lose your work permit entirely.
You could. That immediate income can just vanish. Plus, every time you fail the KP, that costs money, exam fees, maybe repeating a course. But the real cost, it's the lost months or years you could have been working with full approbation, earning a proper trainee salary. That quick BE money often turns into a really expensive gamble down the road.
Okay, that completely flips the financial argument on its head. The short-term gain can hide a huge long-term loss. What about your career path? Specialty training.
Yeah, another critical point. The time you spend working under a BE often does not count towards your official specialty training, your Fachartsweiterbildung, or maybe only a small part counts. Your real journey to becoming a certified specialist, that often only kicks off after you get the approbation.
So you could work for a year, maybe 2, thinking you're gaining great experience, but then find out hardly any of it counts towards becoming, say, a cardiologist or a surgeon.
Exactly that. It can literally be time spent just spinning your wheels in terms of actual career progression. And what's more, because the BE is temporary and clinics increasingly want doctors with full licenses, you often end up in the less desirable jobs. Maybe rehab, geriatrics, roles that are harder to fill. Your power to choose your specialty or even the hospital you want to work at is severely limited. You might just take any job, not the one you dreamed of.
And you mentioned the job market itself is shifting.
Oh, absolutely. Rapidly, clinics are getting pickier. Finding any job with just a BE after the FSP is getting harder and harder. It's frustrating, time-consuming. They want people who are clearly on track for full licensure.
Okay, so let me recap. The supposed benefits of the BE, quick money, experience, language. They often get totally swamped by the downsides. Massive stress, poor studying, potentially years of delay, big financial risks, limited career options, training time that doesn't count, and it's even getting harder to find any BE job now. It really sounds like a potential trap.
Sadly for many, it really is. And that is precisely why the ArztWerden system, drawing on Dr. Shahlol's own journey and seeing countless others, strongly recommends the strategically smarter path, which is, after you pass that FSP, channel all your energy, all your focus into preparing for and passing the Kenntnisprüfung as quickly and effectively as you can. Get that full approbation first.
Forget the immediate job search with a BE. Just laser focus on nailing the KP.
Yeah.
Why is that the winning play?
The logic is actually pretty simple but powerful. First off, it saves you a huge amount of time in the long run. A dedicated focused study block for the KP, maybe it's a few months, maybe 6, depends on your background, right? But that is almost always faster than dragging it out over 1 or 2 years of exhausted part-time study while working full-time.
Right, dedicated focus actually shortens the total time.
Exactly. And it means much, much better quality learning. You can actually immerse yourself in the KT material properly without the constant drain and distraction of clinical work. Your brain can actually absorb it.
And that focus, it immediately unlocks things, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Once you have that full approbation in your hand, the entire German job market opens up to you. You can apply for the jobs in the specialty you actually want, in the city or hospital you prefer. You're not restricted by that temporary permit anymore. You've got choices. You've got leverage.
And that crucial specialty training time we talked about.
The minute you start that job with your approbation, every single day counts toward your Facharzt, your specialty qualification. You are officially on the recognized training path from day one. No questions, no limitations.
Plus, presumably, better salary, better prospects overall.
Definitely. As a fully licensed doctor starting your residency, you immediately earn significantly more based on the tariff, the standard salary agreement, and you have a clear, respected career path laid out.
And just mentally,
the
relief must be enormous.
Oh, huge. Getting that full approbation, it just lifts a massive weight of stress, uncertainty, vulnerability. You've cleared the biggest hurdle. You've secured your professional foundation here.
You know, it feels a bit counterintuitive to stop earning and go back to intense studying.
Sure.
But what you're saying is that intense period of FSP prep, then KP prep, is actually the best way to build your medical German and solidify your core knowledge anyway. So you arrive at your first proper job, not just licensed, but way better prepared.
Exactly. You hit the ground running, fully licensed, and much more confident and capable.
Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room. The BE offers cash now. The focused KP path needs savings. How do people manage that? Because let's be real, not everyone has a year's worth of living expenses saved up.
Right. And this is where planning, but also mindset is absolutely critical. You really have to see that focus KP study period as a crucial investment. An investment in your future speed and success. Don't just fixate on the immediate paycheck. Think about the total cost over the next, say, 5 or 10 years. What's the real cost of an extra year or two stuck in that uncertain BE status? Lost earning potential as a specialist trainee, maybe paying for repeat exams, time not counting towards a much higher specialist salary later.
Compare that cost to maybe, what, 6 months of focused study?
Exactly. Followed by getting straight into a better paying job where every day moves you towards your fetch heights goal and your long-term earning potential just takes off. The long-term math, it overwhelmingly, massively favors the direct focus path to approbation. The return on investment dwarfs those temporary BE earnings.
So ideally, the best case scenario is planning your finances for this focus period before you even come to Germany, covering living costs, courses, exams for maybe, 12 to 18 months total.
That is absolutely the gold standard plan. It takes the pressure off, lets you focus 100%. But even if that's not perfectly achievable for everyone, the core principle holds. Prioritize finding the funds for that focus KP phase however you can. Borrow if needed, understanding it's an investment that pays back much faster and bigger than getting stuck on the BE treadmill.
Okay, so the clear, urgent advice from ArztWerden is, if you possibly can, and you should try really hard to make it possible, avoid that detour of working with a BE before you pass the KP.
Yes. Concentrate every bit of your energy, your focus, your resources, first on nailing the FSP, and then immediately pivot all that intensity onto passing the Kenntnisprüfung as efficiently as possible. This isn't just like a suggestion. Based on real-world experience, it is almost always faster, more cost-effective long-term, and undoubtedly the strategically smarter way to become a successful, fully licensed doctor here.
So what does this mean for you listening right now? Maybe you've just passed the FSP. You're standing right at that crossroads. This decision chasing the temporary BE income versus making that disciplined, strategic investment in focused KP prep for full approbation. It might be the single most critical choice you make on this whole journey. Do not get seduced by the short-term appeal of the BE. You absolutely must think long-term. Think strategically about your entire career.
That direct, focused path to full approbation, that's the path to sustainable success. It saves you time, it saves you stress, it saves you money in the bigger picture, and crucially, it unlocks the doors to the career you really want in the specialty you choose much, much faster.
Now, you've just gotten some really crucial, potentially game-changing clarity on one big decision point. But here's the reality. That's just a tiny piece, a fraction of the strategic insight and step-by-step guidance the full ArztWerden system gives you.
Yeah, if you're ready to stop feeling lost, stop wasting your precious time and energy going down the wrong roads. If you want to install a complete, proven operating system for your success as a doctor here in Germany, a system that hands you the exact templates, the checklists, access to an AI knowledge library, and connects you with a supportive community that actually gets what you're going through,
then the full ArztWerden online package isn't just your next step, it's your essential next step. And listen, the investment you make in this complete system, seriously, it's absolutely tiny compared to the cost in wasted time, lost money, crushing stress that trying to figure all this out alone or taking those wrong turns will inevitably cost you. This isn't an expense. It's leverage for your future.
It really brings up a core point Dr. Shahlol hammers home in the system. Are you willing to make a small, upfront, controlled investment to avoid potentially huge, uncontrolled costs and heartbreaking delays down the line?
So here is the clear, direct command. Visit kurs.esamshahlol.com, N-A-W. That's KURS.ESAMSHAHLOL.com. Go there right now. Secure your access to the complete ArztWerden system. The link is right there in the description for you. Stop hesitating. Stop waiting. Take decisive action. Install your success.
Remember, the career you want isn't built by accident or hesitation. It's built by making smart, deliberate decisions, starting today.
That's it for this deep dive. Seize this opportunity. It's right there for you. We'll see you inside the course at kurs.esamshahlol.com.